I guess I would say good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm having a rough morning, y'all. I ain't get enough rest last night, for one. For two, I was trying to let y'all know that I do have a son. Um, that deals with a little bit of issues. Um, and I think a lot of it stems from him being bullied. Um, and it's bad. And as a parent, I don't know what else to do because financially I can't afford to send him to a private school. I am not in a position to actually sit here and homeschool him. And also, it's frustrating because where we from and the neighborhood that we live in, it's like not that my kids are special, but my children don't rip and run. I don't let my kids rip and run. I don't let my kids just roam the street like I see some kids out here, 5 and 6 years old, and on age of Mingley, and they're around here walking to the corner stores, things of that nature. I don't let my children do that. Because I know the days. Not that I'm too overprotective, but it's just you start letting them hang around with certain group of kids that just already in the street ripping and running, and they just get to know too much, too soon, too fast for the age. So they get into things that they ain't got no business getting into. And I say all that to say this. I just left the school. They called me to tell me my son was they were trying to calm him down. So they did do a better little approach to it than they did last year because last year the officer got involved and my child wasn't the person that started it. My son was being bullied. One, they had him in a regular class setting, which he was not supposed to be in a regular class setting. He's um was in an ED um class for children that has emotional issues, and they put him in there, and they put him in a regular class setting around the quote unquote regular kids, and these kids proceeded to bully him to the point that one of them fought my son, and when they called the people to come to the classroom because my son had been being bullied so many years prior, and just it's just an ongoing thing, and the school not doing what they're supposed to be doing to make sure he feels safe. He ran. He ran. He ran. The same thing anybody natural instincts would have told him to just to run. If you running, you gonna run for your safety. That's just anybody. That's just a part of nature. You gonna run, or you gonna stand there if you can defend yourself and defend yourself. But in this case, my son ran. You have all these big authority figures over you. You're not. He's not a criminal, but yet he was being treated as one, and he ran. So now, for his own safety, they must restrain him. A child that has issues that y'all supposed to call the mental health people to get involved with, you're now tackling him and restraining him. A 200-pound person, my child ended up in the hospital. Needless to say, they threw that under the rug because financially I couldn't afford to fight these people. Well, again, we pushed forward to 2018. Still issues going on. My son is but still being bullied. The student decided to put his hands in my son's head and pick and bother and just pick. And my son does good as long as nobody's bothering him. He does good, but once he started, it's hard to calm him down, and that's the problem we have. So today I went over there, and it's just frustrating because now I'm sitting there for about 20 minutes trying to calm my child down. When if you who in the class? That's who's in the class sitting there watching these kids. And if they in the class watching them, why not when you see this student getting out of his seat to go approach another student that y'all, once he started, there's going to be a problem because I'm being real honest. I got tired of my son coming home with paint thrown on him, with bruises on him. So I told my son to fight back. So now it's to the point when he starts, he don't stop. And it's hard to stop him. But I feel like the child, why not fight back? Because y'all ain't helping me. They not helping. You just go send him out the class because you don't want to deal with him. Instead of getting to the root of the problem, the child try to do what's right and he still ain't up getting in trouble. I just say all that to say this again. Some of y'all need to learn how to take care of y'all children. I mean, it's just as plain and simple as that. It don't make sense for me to have to come to the school and it's like a big wild pack of wolves when you walk in there. It's no place for a child that actually wants to learn to go to. This particular school is just, and I have what more could I do? Because I can't afford to send them to private school. They don't want to switch them out to different schools, even if they say they can zone them to, even if I go and request it or whatever, I still have to wait that process. But then the particular class that he needs to be in is not the class I think he needs to be in, but he's sensitive to noise, borderline like autistic. So a lot of things agitates him, and they know this, and so that's why I tell him my son ain't come to school to make friends. He come to school to learn. So if you have to sit him in a corner by himself, sit him in a corner by himself. As long as he getting his lesson, I don't care if he don't get to know Johnny Boy and Reek Reek and the rest of them. Matter of fact, I don't even want them to know Reek Reek and the rest of them, especially when they run around. Parents just letting them rip and run through the neighborhood like a bunch of hoodlums. I mean, I'm just being real. It's frustrating. They come and pick the kids up and they don't. It's nothing done. They come back to school and do the same thing the next day, just like no home training. None. I sat in a class for almost 2 months. Well, I went to school almost for 2 months with my son last year because the bullying was so bad. And when I got there as a parent, I'm just looking around like, what in the world? I couldn't sit in there and even write numbers, something I like to do. I couldn't even sit in a classroom and just simply write numbers. That's how dysfunctional the class was. That's how dysfunctional those children were. And I'm just thinking, well, my God, what are your parents teaching you at home? No, my kids aren't the best. But my kids know to sit there behind down the class and not act like a bunch of fools. You know? Now once you get them going, yeah, they might start acting just like y'all. Acting like a bunch of you know what. You know that ain't word people like to use, acting like a bunch of what they call them. But that's because you not sit there and bother them and they tired. At this particular school, all of my children have gotten bullied. Even up until my oldest one who was quiet and don't bother nobody. Till she got in high school and she said, bump that mama. I just take the beating from you. I'm fighting back. And she whooped that girl tail. Once she did that, I guess she had no problems. Once she beat one of the biggest girls in the school, she didn't have any more problems. I guess that's what my son and they're going to have to do. You know, and I don't like to promote violence, but at some point people get tired. I know he got to be tired. This was a child, if I go back and show y'all pictures from like 3 years ago, who went to school happy one morning. And when he came back home, he's no longer that child no more. I don't know where my son is. That's not the same child that I sent to school that day. Ever since that particular day, my son has been a different person. I am a parent that's worried about my son because I don't want to be one of those people on the news where a child go do something fool up. And then they'd be like, well, where was the parent this whole time? Well, hell, the parent here this whole time trying to get help from a school. You got a bunch of grown people in the school that just there just to get a paycheck. They don't care what our kids doing. So they ignores it. And this is a proven fact in my situation because the teacher blatantly, a sister said, she sat there and watched my son be harassed for a whole week. Now you think this heifer got up and going to tell the head teacher that before my son got in the fight that last day and fought back and he get in trouble now. She said he was being harassed all week. Well, lady, if you saw my son being harassed all week, why wouldn't you bring it to somebody's attention? That's neglect to me. That's neglect on the school part, one, and it's supposed to be a no tolerance bullying. So why he getting bullied and you sitting right there watching it? I had a serious problem with that. I, at that point, started having trust issues. I have really bad trust issues when it comes to sending my children to school. Because they buddy. I don't care what job I don't work on. Me, you could be cool, but what you're not going to do is interfere with my livelihood. If I see you doing something wrong on that job, and I know it could cost me mine, then call me what you want. But I ain't losing my livelihood dealing with you. And you, because you over there doing something, you know, dealing with patients, you over there roughing up the patients and doing stuff. You ain't got no business. Oh, don't you do that in front of me. And you're not going to do that in front of me. You're not going to hurt those patients or talk to them any kind of way. And I don't care if the